Before the Tesla Model 3 landed on the global market, Leaf was the #1 selling full EV, with billions of EV miles clocked up around the world by enthusiastic Leaf owners. And Nissan was at the forefront of EV technology, much earlier than you think. Let's go take a tour. Today, while we delve into the details of Leaf, if you want to skip ahead, you can use the time codes on the screen or scroll down and use the chapters. And don't forget, while you're here, to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to stay up to date every time we launch a new product video.
Our love is alive, and so we begin. Foolishly laying our hearts on the table, stumbling in. Our love is a flame, burning within.
The history of the Nissan EV can be traced back to 1947 when the CHAdeMO was developed. It was Nissan's first ever EV with a range of 96 kilometres. Doesn't sound like much, but this was 1947, and when EV and PHEV technology commenced arrivals around the turn of 2010, their range was not much more than this. 2 years after the CHAdeMO, a compact four-door sedan followed in Japan. Even back then, Nissan knew it had something special with electric vehicles, and they have never looked back.
Not long after the conclusion of World War II, Japan was suffering from an acute shortage of oil, goods and food, while the supply of electricity had a surplus since there were almost no home appliances or bulk users of electricity. Under such condition, with the encouragement of the government, there were many electric vehicles by startup car manufacturers. The maximum speed of the CHAdeMO was 35 kilometers an hour on the first electric vehicle performance test. It worked very well as a taxi until about 1951. The brand name CHAdeMO came from the name of the place where the factory was located. It is not very well known that electric vehicles have had a long history and helped in the reconstruction of Japan. From Tama to Aria, from ice cream vans to robot co-pilots, Nissan has been pioneering EV technology for decades, with the lineup changing with the times and drivers' needs.
Baby, that's not what I want it to be.
Hi, I'm Dylan from Dandenong Nissan, Melbourne's home of unbeatable prices, here to present to you the second generation ZE1 LEAF, highlighting its capabilities, innovation, and ownership comparison to other like-size internal combustion and EV models. Now sure, the Leaf might not be the best nowadays and is starting to age, with many newcomers in the market showing impressive innovation. However, Nissan were the pioneers of this space and have extensive experience with some impressive facts to boot. Purchasing an EV has naturally become a very different buying experience for the customer and the dealer. EV buyers are intelligent, analytical, fact finders, and like to compare not just the drive, but the tech, charging options, and I should know. Before we delve into this, let me put my money where my mouth is and take you on a trip home. This is my 2022 Nissan Leaf E+. Now, why did I go all electric? Let me show you.
It all started for me when the world changed.
As each week passes, the impact of the coronavirus, COVID-19, is becoming more apparent to everyone, not only here in Australia, but all around the world.
We started seeing daylight again and socialising after living through the world's longest COVID lockdowns, when fuel for the first time since 2004 dropped below $1 a litre. It was a great time to own an internal combustion car. Then inflation dug its stubborn heels in, fuel supplies became threatened with the invasion of Ukraine, and Europe chasing new supplies of fossil fuels, starting a chain reaction around the world with fuel prices rapidly shooting up well above $2 a litre for the first time in history. My weekly commute in my Kia Cerato GT was becoming a costly exercise on top of insurance, repayments, expensive performance tyre replacement and 10,000 kilometre service intervals.
Calculating the cost of ownership, it started making sense to change to full electric. It was not for environmental reasons. I could clearly see that with my 12.5 kilowatt rooftop solar, the ability to charge during the day using that collection and the availability of some great EV electricity tariffs on offer, this was going to be a much cheaper alternative to internal combustion. Leaf, like many EV offerings, allow you to set timers for charging so that you can avoid charging the vehicle during peak times. Our Leaf will charge only between midnight and 4 in the afternoon, which you can override at any time when required, and it does not affect CHAdeMO charging. During a sunny day, we can charge our Leaf entirely off our solar absorption, run our home, and still feed into the grid 1 or 2 kilowatts. It makes sense to charge in this way, as you export for 3 to 6 cents per kilowatt, but pay over 30 cents to import each kilowatt.
Once peak rates kick in, if our Leaf has not concluded its charge, it will shut down and resume at midnight when our EV rate of 8 cents per kilowatt hour commences, proving that our running costs for our vehicle can be as low as $35 a month, which is a vast improvement of my weekly fuel bill of over $90, an annual saving of at least $4,200. Pretty impressive. But that's not all. Later, I will highlight why I decided on Leaf.
Leaf is one of 2 models sold in Australia that uses CHAdeMO for fast charging as opposed to CCS used by other EV offerings. The main difference between CCS and CHAdeMO is that CCS connectors allow car makers to fit only one charging EV port, which can accept AC and DC charging. However, with CHAdeMO, you require a separate charging port for AC, resulting in 2 charging ports on the vehicle. CHAdeMO charging stations can charge an electric vehicle to 80% in less than an hour, while CCS charging situations can charge the electric vehicle to 80% in less than 30 minutes on similar capacity batteries. So this might not sound ideal, but CHAdeMO has one standout advantage compared to CCS.
V2L, or vehicle to load, is rising in popularity with EV manufacturers, providing a power socket on the EV to power appliances when on the road, but it has its limitations. Depending on the power consumption of the appliance, the socket may only run a single appliance at a time, and it is not a feature of the Leaf. Utilising the CHAdeMO socket, the Nissan Leaf and Mitsubishi Outlander provide a V2G and V2H solution as an alternative to vehicle to load. Vehicle to grid or vehicle to house using CHAdeMO provides users with the ability to power the whole home electricity circuit using the energy stored in the Leaf's battery. Because the Leaf battery is 5 times bigger than a typical 12 kilowatt home storage battery, it has much more energy available.
There are many advantages to this, such as being able to charge your car when using renewable energy during the day and then using that energy to power appliances at night, reducing the reliance on the grid during peak usage rates. Also, it means the EV could, in theory, power a home for a week with an extended blackout event. These methods can help to smooth out the peaks and troughs of energy demand, making the electricity grid more stable and your own energy bills much cheaper, without the financial outlay of expensive home battery solutions.
While many EV brands with CCS have two-way charging capabilities, currently in Australia only EVs using CHAdeMO can discharge energy this way. Vita H requires a bidirectional EV charger connected to the switchboard that uses Vehicle Communications Protocol and Open Charge Point Protocol installed by a licensed technician, a smart meter with smart virtual power plant technology to manage the process to let the grid know how much energy the EV has stored in its battery. The energy management software can then decide how much energy can be discharged to the home or local grid to help fill in the grid troughs.
LEAF is offered in two models with no cosmetic enhancement when climbing up to the E+. E+ provides performance improvements of 50 kilowatts of power, 20 newton meters of torque, faster acceleration, and a larger battery capacity of 20 kilowatts, totaling 59 kilowatts. Curb weight of the E+ increases, influenced by the larger battery by 142 kilograms, up to a total of 1,736 kilograms, with payload, however, only reduced by a mere 3 kilograms. All other proportions replicate the 39 kilowatt LEAF. LEAF's WLTP combined cycle range starts at 270 kilometres and E Plus provides an additional 115 kilometres on a single charge, with consumption of 17.1 kilowatts in the 39 kilowatt model and 18 kilowatts in the E Plus per 100 kilometres.
Both LEAF models, while having the same charging infrastructure, vary on charge times due to capacity and capability. Using the onboard charger, the 32 amp wall box or Type 2 charging facility, charge times from alert to 100% are 7.5 hours for the 39 kilowatt battery and 11 hours for the 59 kilowatt battery, as both models are identical in their Type 2 capabilities. Where the E Plus shows its standout charging upgrades is through 100 kilowatt CHAdeMO rapid charging. The E Plus LEAF charges from 20 to 80%, 15 minutes faster, with the ability to accept the full 100 kilowatts of power as opposed to the 39 kilowatt LEAF maxing out at 50 kilowatts.
Our love is alive.
How does LEAF stack up in the charging race? Let's take a look.
Foolishly laying our hearts on the table, stumbling in. Our love is a flame.
To improve the LEAF's efficiency, the car features aerodynamic alloy wheels with low rolling resistance EV tyres to reduce drag. Improving the range of the car, the LEAF features regenerative braking, a mechanism found on hybrid and full electric vehicles. It captures the kinetic energy from braking and converts it into electrical power that charges the battery. Regenerative braking also slows down the car, which reduces the use of traditional brakes, making for lower servicing costs with an almost complete elimination of pad and rotor replacement.
'Cause baby, you show me so many things that
Nissan's innovative e-pedal, when activated, accelerates, brakes and stops all with one pedal. Just press down for an instant rush and ease off to slow down. It's a whole new way to drive that's not only fun, but efficient. It can even add power back to the battery to help extend its range. Of course, your brake pedal is always there if you prefer to use it, or simply just flip a switch to remain on regular two-pedal driving. Using B mode for increased regenerative braking and E-pedal produces an efficiency improvement of up to 30% and is particularly well performing on long downhill runs and around town stop-start driving. You really need to experience for yourself with a demonstration to excite your senses and understand the true capabilities of E-pedal, as over time, continuous use of this feature, you will never have the need to use your brake pedal ever again when coming to a complete stop.
LEAF provides just the right amount of amenity inside, with an 8-inch touchscreen complete with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, DAB+, navigation and an energy-efficient Bose 7-speaker sound system. LEAF features leather-appointed seats with suede accents and a stylish blue stitching made from recycled fibres. The 7-inch advanced driver assist display previews power demand, estimated charge times and battery capacity, along with a huge suite of EV data highlighting consumption, distance to empty, in addition to traffic sign recognition, vehicle settings, charge timers and activation timers for the automatic climate control, so your car's temperature is at a comfortable level before climbing in and hitting the road. The activation of the climate control before departing on your journey makes a dramatic change to the Leaf's efficiency. Heating and cooling reduces range on EVs, and by starting your climate control early, you can heat or cool the car and prepare the battery for your journey from your home's electricity, improving efficiency and battery temperature.
Other than the single reduction gear selector, there is not much in the interior of the Leaf that screams EV. The seating position in Leaf is typically higher than comparable sized hatchbacks and almost has an SUV-like seating position. And when placed next to the Nissan Juke compact SUV, has a remarkable similar stance with high roof and great versatility around the car from the driver's position.
The front and rear occupants are treated to heated seats, which is a unique appointment for this level of vehicle, with a deliberate reason for the standard inclusion of this function. The reason for the heated seat appointment is that heating the occupants through the seats rather than the climate control demonstrated similar outcomes but proved to be more efficient. The boot is a generous 405 litres with enough depth to carry 2 suitcases, but the intrusive soundbar does get in the way at times. The Leaf is supplied with a Type 2 cable in the boot with at-home charging infrastructure and emergency contingency cables for charging from a standard 10 amp home socket, able to be supplied by Dandenong Nissan through local supplier JetCharge and coupled with your Leaf purchase.
Another day, another e-scooter or e-bike catching fire. So does the media hype and EV propaganda put you off the idea of owning an electric car? We've all seen those videos of electric cars and buses catching fire, but those cases are few and far between. Let's break down the spin and look at the facts. Have a serious think about the last time you heard about an internal combustion vehicle fire during the afternoon peak hour traffic report versus high voltage battery fires in an EV.
Can an EV actually explode? A battery is an electric chemical device that stores energy. Most batteries perform a chemical reaction, and that reaction releases energy in the form of electrons. When energy is moved quickly in or out of a battery, this generates heat. Too much heat can lead to thermal runaway, leading to battery fires.
But is this likely to occur in your EV? Unlikely. EV Fire Safe, who provide electric vehicle safety training for first responders in Australia, state that EVs are far less likely to catch fire than internal combustion vehicles. They also state that an electric vehicle fire does not equal an electric vehicle battery fire, which is the growing concern. The vehicle can be on fire through no direct result of the battery, where that battery is still completely intact. Recent stats out of the Netherlands indicate that less than 50% of the time does an electric vehicle fire involve the high voltage battery. In Australia, we have in round numbers approximately 120,000 registered EVs. There have only been 6 electric vehicle battery fires caused by arson as a result of the structure around the vehicle burning, and just 1 as a result of a collision, and 1 from road debris. There have never been any spontaneous high voltage EV battery fires in Australia while the EV has been on charge. The odds of an EV battery fire are 1 in 100,000, where the same data shows that internal combustion engines, on the other hand, will have a 1 in 1,000 chance of catching fire, making a fire in an electric car 100 times less likely.
Regulation and standards, including crash testing, must be carried out on vehicles registered in Australia with the use of high-quality batteries present in EVs as opposed to low-quality, non-regulated lithium batteries in e-bikes and scooters. For more information, you can visit efiresafe.com.
The Nissan LEAF is the perfect EV to kickstart your introduction to electric vehicle ownership. Its performance is measured and precise with no aggressive 0 to 100 stats that you may never use. It's not designed to look like a spaceship, destined to take passengers from Silicon Valley to Mars, and offers great value. So how does it stack up against the rivals? We've assisted with the facts to provide you with an informed decision. But don't just let the stats shore up your decision. Allow me to explain why I decided on LEAF. My decision was not entirely influenced by representing the Nissan brand. I enjoy the traditional functions of the buttons across the steering wheel, dash and console, light and indicator stalk and switches to activate various safety functions. After test driving a competing brand, I found myself taking my eyes off the road to adjust the cooling and direction of airflow, whereas the LEAF's traditional layout allows your fingers to navigate around the vehicle. While a personal preference, I don't like the minimalist look of many EV interiors and lack of dealer network for support and repairs. Build quality throughout the interior is also superior, with loads of soft touch plastic synthetics along with an advanced list of intelligent mobility functions and European quality for the Australian market.
LEAF's charging port being at the front of the car allows for public charging without illegally reversing into a parking space to charge at the rear. And with CHAdeMO being the less available option in EVs, makes the availability of these facilities on public charging stations always available with no long waits for the Tesla driver to return to his car 1 hour after charging completed. Another great feature I only noticed once owning the LEAF was the vehicle disconnects itself from charge once complete. This is an added benefit with public charging through the EV network. A penalty rate is charged for remaining plugged in once charge is complete. Because the LEAF disconnects, the charging station concludes the charge, so you won't be paying the additional parking fee. But don't leave your car there all day. There is an unwritten charging etiquette after all.
So that wraps up the most in-depth presentation of LEAF anyone has to offer in one place. Once you have viewed and taken in all that has been presented today, you are likely to place the LEAF firmly on your shopping list. As a certified LEAF specialist and owner, you're in the best hands with me and the team at Dandenong Nissan, who can assist with a test drive and presentation of all we have demonstrated today and then some. With great offers available, you're sure to find the right LEAF for the right price here at Dandenong Nissan, Melbourne's home of unbeatable prices. And if you happen to find a better price elsewhere, we'll beat it. I'm Dylan, LEAF owner, EV specialist, signing off. Thanks for watching.
Our love is alive, and so we begin. Foolishly laying our hearts on the table, stumbling in. Our love is a flame, burning within. Now and then, twilight will catch us stumbling in, stumbling in, stumbling in. Foolishly laying our hearts on the table, stumbling in.
If you like this video or wish to contribute to the conversation, leave your comments below. And don't forget, while you're here, to share this video, hit the like and subscribe button and click the bell icon to stay up to date each time we launch or drive something different. See you soon.